many more bones will you crush?
Now I'm the bad guy.
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
Kung Fu Panda is one of the best animated trilogies of all time, its first two films having two of the best villains I've ever reviewed, Tai Lung and Shen both getting 9s for their own villain reviews. Many consider the third film in the series to be the weakest, but what does that mean for its villain Kai? Is he the series' first big villain misstep, or is he just as good as the other fantastic villains who came before him? On the 133rd episode of Villain Review, I'll be breaking him down to find out. Make sure you subscribe for Villain Review because 135, it's gonna be super good, super special, super spicy. Enough chit chat. Let's talk Kai.
But Kai wanted the power all to himself.
Every boy reaches that point in his life where his best friend is a turtle. This especially was true for Kai, who Master Oogway was like a brother to him. The two fighting together in combat side by side for years, spanking hams together in every battle they fought in. During one battle, however, Oogway would become seriously injured, requiring Kai to carry his bestie for days until they could find help. Eventually stumbling onto a village, Kai would say, "What are these, some sort of Kung Fu pandas?" And Oogway would say, "Yep." And then the pandas would use chi to save our boy Oogway. But Kai is the jealous type, and he wants that sweet chi all to himself. The two best friends would fight each other over how the chi should be used. And of course, Oogway spanked his hams real good, sending Kai to the spirit realm. But also, life is like a peach tree, so when Oogway ascends, Kai eventually grabs his chi, returning to the mortal world to gather the world's chi for himself. Here's the thing, I don't want to compare Kai to Tai Lung and Shen because that's not fair to Kai, but I also want to because he's the latest goofball in a series of fantastic villains. Of the three though, I think it's safe to say that Kai's origin is definitely the weakest of the three. Tai Lung's is easily the best, but Shen's is still a step above Kai. That's not to say Kai's origin is bad, because it absolutely isn't. One thing I love about this series is how every villain is tied to a main character, presented as some sort of terrible dream, right? You got Tai Lung being a reminder of Shifu's shortcomings, you got Shen as a reminder of Poe's buried trauma, and Kai as a mirror to Oogway. The origin could have been expanded upon and fleshed out, but it's still good enough how it is, I guess. His whole I want chi thing can come across as sort of a basic power motive, but they counterbalance that with him sort of being jealous of Oogway's legacy. He's a jealous character who wants what he can't have, and that perfectly plays into his twisted arc of finding meaning in possessions, mainly chi and little emerald-like birthstones.
So, Oogway, this was the one destined to stop me?
One thing I noticed rewatching this movie is how Kai's arc and motive mirror that of Poe's. Poe has some daddy issues in this movie, and his arc really revolves around him finding out who he is by helping the people around him. He finds meaning in himself by collecting friends and family in both his old and new companions. See what I did there? I said collecting. You're going to want to remember that part. In this movie, Kai is looking to find purpose and meaning for himself by, wait for it, collecting people, except Kai is doing it in all the wrong ways. While Poe is turning others into who they're meant to be, Kai tries to figure out who he is by turning others into him, or just silly, underpowered, green-looking dudes. But come on, guys, you know why Kai is great. Let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment you've been waiting for. J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is a beautiful, amazing, talented actor who's always moving hair around his character's body. Only the best actors can do this. No hair at all. Cool mustache with a head full of hair. Cool mustache with no head on his hair. And now his final form, hair literally everywhere on his body. One of the reasons J.K. Simmons is always so good at playing villains is because he can play intimidating incredibly well, but he also adds more depth in a way that feels natural. We're all still going to therapy over Omni-Man, but that character has a caring fatherly side to him. And with Kai, yeah, we get that evil and arrogant guy, but there's also a little splash of joy and life to him. We see him get frustrated, relieved, entertained, emotions that don't pop up often, but they still add more depth. Just like so many great villains, I love that Kai is enjoying what he's doing, and it's some big victory lap for him for finally defeating Oogway. And I love that he does defeat Oogway because it instantly sets him up as an intimidating villain, because if you can beat this guy who's pretty much like Turtle Jesus, damn bro, you're like scary. And further than that, he doesn't really lose a fight throughout the entire movie, but we'll talk about that later. The design is great, I love his color scheme, weapons, and as far as personality goes, I think he stands toe-to-toe with Tai Lung and Shen. Okay, I'm gonna let you finish, okay? But Tai Lung has the greatest Kung Fu Panda villain scene of all time. But holy smokes, buckaroo, does Kai bring his A game. We get 2 battles in the spirit realm, both of which are some of the series' most visually entertaining battles. We get an awesome intro scene, and actually, every scene's pretty good. If Kai scenes in this movie are an 8, they're instantly made a 9 or a 10 because of one very special reason: his theme. Hot damn, this theme slaps harder than abusive father, ladies and gentlemen. I have a little theory for you, okay? Just a quick one. Hans Zimmer is one of the goats of composing, but he's actually not a goat, he's a panda. And Chi, stick with me on this, Chi is a metaphor for music. When the pandas gift Oogway with Chi, that's actually Hans Zimmer giving Oogway one of the best character themes of all time, and I 100% believe that. Type in the comments if you disagree. And he gets jealous of Oogway's theme because Oogway ascends is straight heat. I don't know, that sounds pretty credible to me. Get the director on the phone ASAP. One of my favorite scenes for Kai, however, is when he pulls up to the Jade Palace. It's freaking great. We get an awesome entrance with a few awesome renditions of his theme and Oogway's. We get a really solid fight, although short, and when we see the horror on Tigress's face as he's taking Shifu, we know that this dude is maybe the scariest villain yet. Speaking of fear, he wins every battle we see in the mortal world. Before they go to the spirit world, he beats up easy on Po, and I like that we see how powerful he is. It keeps him intimidating and menacing, and I love how he's this impending doom over Po, looking over the entire film. It's done really well.
Wings up! Regret!
During the movie, when Kai is like, Oogway, more like, Oog, no way you're keeping your chi, it's mine. I was like, damn, that's kind of naughty. And then when he goes, ho ho, Shifu, I'm collecting Kung Fu Master Chi like they're Pokemon. Give me that chi, boy. Yummy, yum, yum, yum. I was like, okay, first of all, weird. Second of all, how evil can he get? And then at the end, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take the chi of everyone in the world. And I'm like, hold up. I think this dude is a little evil. Kai is on this mission and nothing will stop him. He can't be reasoned with, and the fact that he does it with such little compassion makes him an incredibly evil villain. Yeah, his origin isn't as fleshed out, but it makes him come across as a lot more evil. He doesn't want to prove himself like Tai Lung or change his fate like Shen. He just wants to take over the world so that he can fulfill his quest of obtaining chi. He is the perfect counter to rival Oogway, the yin and the yang, the turtle and the bull, son of Krypton versus Bat. I got a little carried away with that, my apologies. Point is, they're like 2 dueling sides of extreme power in this Kung Fu Panda universe.
The mortal realm. You hear that, Oogway? I'm back.
Kai is a really well done villain. I don't think he reaches the same heights as Tai Lung and Shen do, but those two are some of the best animated villains of all time, so it's perfectly okay he doesn't reach their level. Because Kai is still a better villain than so many of the villains we get in modern movies, and he still stands out for his design, performance, and of course, freaking badass villain theme. J.K. Simmons delivers another excellent performance as always, and personality-wise, I think Kai's great. He's intimidating, but there's more to him than that. And we see that play out in all of his scenes, none of which miss. He's a great villain worthy of this franchise, and I really like him. I'm gonna give Kai an 8.5.
Then I will find him and take his chi too.
Thank you so much for watching, and as always, let me know what you think of Kai and who I should review next in the comments below. New villain review every single Monday, so make sure you subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Look forward to villain review 135. It's going to be crazy. Like, I kid you not, it's going to be insane. Have a great day. See you later.